Hello and welcome to the English Listen Lab. Today, we bring you an exciting and mysterious story perfect for English learners at the A2 level. This is the story of Max, a curious boy who discovers an old video camera in his grandfather's storage room. But this is no ordinary camera. It has the power to rewind time for 10 minutes. At first, Max uses it for small tricks, like fixing test answers. But soon he realizes that changing the past has serious consequences. Are you ready to follow Max on his journey through time? Let's begin. The Rewind Camera, A Boy's Journey Through Time. Chapter 1. The Discovery. One afternoon, Max was exploring his grandfather's attic when he found an old video camera covered in dust. Curious, he turned it on and noticed it still worked. But there was something strange. When Max accidentally pressed a button, time suddenly went backward by 10 minutes. Shocked, Max looked around. Everything was exactly as it had been 10 minutes ago. He didn't understand how it happened, but he knew one thing: this camera was special. He decided to test it more and see what it could do. Chapter 2. The First Experiment. Excited by his discovery, Max took the camera to school the next day. He had a math test, and he wasn't prepared. Before writing his answers, he secretly recorded the test sheet. After finishing, he stepped outside, pressed the rewind button, and suddenly, he was back in his seat 10 minutes earlier. This time, he already knew the answers. He quickly wrote them down, and when the test ended, he felt like a genius. It was the easiest A+ he had ever gotten. But something felt wrong. Was he really learning, or was he just cheating? Chapter 3. Small Tricks and Bigger Temptations. At first, Max only used the camera for small things, repeating jokes to make his friends laugh, fixing small mistakes, or avoiding awkward situations. It felt like a superpower, but soon, he started using it for more serious things. One day, Max saw his best friend Jake drop his wallet. Instead of helping immediately, he waited, rewound time, and then magically found it in front of everyone. People called him lucky and smart. Max loved the attention. But deep inside, he started feeling guilty. Was he doing the right thing? Chapter 4. Fixing a Big Mistake. One afternoon, Max got into a big argument with his friend Sarah. He said something mean without thinking, and she ran away in tears. Feeling awful, Max thought, what if I could fix this? He grabbed the camera, rewound 10 minutes, and changed his words. This time, he was kind, and Sarah smiled instead of crying. Max felt relieved. Maybe I can fix everything, he thought. But later that night, something strange happened. Sarah messaged him saying, I feel weird, like something isn't right. Did something happen that I don't remember? Max felt a chill. Was the camera changing more than just time? Chapter 5. The Consequences. Max became obsessed with fixing mistakes. Every time something went wrong, he simply rewound time and did it again. But then, he noticed a problem. His memories were getting mixed up. He couldn't remember what was real and what he had changed. One day, he rewound too many times and forgot what the original moment even looked like. His friends started acting differently, as if they could feel something was off. Max began to realize that playing with time had consequences, and maybe some mistakes were meant to be left alone. Chapter 6. The Unexpected Side Effects. Max started noticing something strange. Every time he rewound time, his body felt more exhausted. His head ached, and sometimes he felt dizzy. At first, he ignored it, but the more he used the camera, the worse it became. It was as if the camera was draining his energy. One day, after rewinding to correct a mistake in his homework, Max collapsed. He woke up feeling weak, realizing that maybe the camera wasn't just affecting time, it was affecting him too. Chapter 7. A Warning from the Past. Determined to understand what was happening, Max decided to investigate the origins of the camera. He searched through his grandfather's old belongings and found a notebook filled with strange writings. One page stood out. The camera holds great power, but power always comes at a cost. Use it wisely or risk losing yourself. Max's heart pounded. What did losing yourself mean? Had his grandfather known about the camera's dangers? Chapter 8. Trying to undo a major mistake, Max decided to stop using the camera. But then something terrible happened. During a class presentation, he accidentally embarrassed his best friend Jake in front of everyone. Feeling guilty, Max thought, just one last rewind. He rewound 10 minutes and tried to prevent his mistake, but in doing so, he messed up even more, making Jake even angrier. Every time he tried to fix it, things only got worse. Max finally realized that some mistakes are meant to be learned from, not erased. Chapter 9. Letting go of the past. Max understood that he had to stop rewinding time. He had been relying on the camera instead of facing reality. He decided to put the camera away, but before doing so, he recorded one final message to himself. Mistakes make us who we are. Learn from them, don't run from them. He placed the camera back in the attic, right where he had found it, promising himself never to use it again. He felt lighter, as if a weight had been lifted off his shoulders. Chapter 10. Moving forward. With the camera locked away, Max started facing life the way it was meant to be, without shortcuts. He apologized to Jake and worked harder at school, knowing that true learning comes from effort, not rewinding time. Though the temptation to use the camera remained, Max now understood its lesson. Life is about moving forward, not going back. He embraced every mistake, every challenge, and every success as part of his journey. Thank you for following Max's journey. If you enjoyed this story and want to hear more inspiring adventures, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Stay tuned for more amazing content from the English Listen Lab. See you next time!